Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and I think we've got this going. Yeah, we do. We have sound. So hopefully, Nick. Oh, I got to put you on deep thoughts. Nick, let us know if this all worked because we have a guest today. We don't have Dustin Blaise working. Dustin went on vacation. We have Vedanta Sproston.
Hey everybody.
Yep, Vedanta Sproston's doing Dustin's job today. My lovely girlfriend Vedanta Sproston. We just got to come over and say hi because that camera's not working. You can just lean in here. There she is.
Hello.
So we just had an amazing week out in across the Atlantic Ocean in England at Peckforton Castle, just south of Manchester, England, in Cheshire. And Nick says we are live and good, so that's awesome. And so we just spent the last. Well, we got back on when did we get back? We got back on Saturday. We got back on Saturday, and it was awesome. I got to be honest. This is the first time we ever did anything like this, where we set up the castle, we set up the the place where we're all going to stay, the food, the teaching, all that kind of stuff. Nick really did all of that, and I was really, it wasn't a cheap thing for everyone to pay for, and I really wanted to make sure that everyone really got what they were hoping for. And I know for Ronnie Williford and myself, who were teaching the courses, it went beyond what we hoped for, and I know for a lot of the students, it was more than they expected. And I just think it was just the right chemistry. It was an amazing time. Over 4 days of people arriving, we went out painting, plein air painting the castle. We went out and we went out plein air painting into the forests. We went into a place called Tatton Park where there was deer and landscape as well. There, manicured gardens, and just an amazing place. And then our last day we spent in Chester, the town of Chester, where we got a wonderful demonstration from the falconry people there, and then also did some painting on the grounds and roamed around the city itself. So all in all, it was just an amazing trip. I've got 25 new friends that I really have come to love and really enjoy. So for those of you that were on the trip and are watching or listening right now, thank you so much for making it such an amazing experience for us as well. It was just absolutely incredible. So like I said, today I've got Vedanta with me. She's taking over for Dustin. She's our guest question taker. And then we've got Nick Birch, my business partner. He's going to be in Sarasota. He's going to be manning questions as well. And I thought today I might do some drawing from some of the photos that Vedanta took at the falconry place. I went through a whole bunch of them, and I pulled one photo in particular that I really liked of this barn owl. And why don't you switch over to the desktop really quick if you can. And I just wanted to show you this one here. It's a great shot that, even though it's a daytime shot, I want to do this as a nighttime painting. But I really like the pose, and I really like the silhouette. And I'm imagining it flying past a barn that has this is a barn owl, and I imagine it flying past a barn that has maybe a sliver of light coming out through some of the boards. And I want to do some light, flowing across the bird in that way, like it's coming through the boards and it's flying through the moonlight. So a combination of warm slivers of light against the cool moonlight where it's going to be outdoors. So I think that's going to be kind of cool. Also, I want to remind you guys, and we're going to start advertising this in earnest, because we want to make sure you guys get a seat before they sell out. We are on August 3rd and 4th. We're doing our first big masterclass live event here in Orlando. If you can make it, it's 3 weeks away or 2 weeks away. Is that 2 or 3 weeks away? Something like that.
About 2 weeks away.
Yeah, about 2 weeks away. If I know it's short notice. Well, we've been advertising it for a while, but if you can make it, we'd love to have you. It's a 2-day event. 8 hours each day where I'm talking about character design, painting, story. I'm talking about my career and how it's been affected by conditions in the out in the workforce and just all kinds of stuff we're going to be talking about, and how to get an animated movie off the ground, all that kind of stuff. So it's 2 days master class. It's going to be all art. It's going to be me, and I would really love to see you guys. Once again, that's August 3rd and 4th. And if you are a student or a teacher, you can save up to $50 on a 2-day pass. So get in there, check it out. Go to Creature Art Teacher. Is it Creature Art Teacher / Orlando 2019. That's it. I think that's what it is.
You can also just go straight to the site, right?
Yes, you can also just go straight to the site. Absolutely. Awkward pause. Stay hydrated, my friends. So anyway, I want to get into this. Enough talking. We've been talking for the last 6 minutes, or I have. I want to. So once again, I'm just going to be doing a painting of this bird, this beautiful, beautiful barn owl who had so much personality. This barn owl was awesome, and so I want to get her painted in here, and while I'm painting, I want you guys to ask some questions. So I'm going to move the reference up to the upper screen. And
Dustin says hi.
Oh, Dustin's on. Hey, Dustin. Hello. Hello. And welcome. Hold on, let me do something here real quick. I got to shrink up my screen here. There we go. All right. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Something just moved. Did we lose anything?
No, everything's good.
Okay, because I moved a cord and all of a sudden everything started flashing. All right, so I'm going to get in here. The first thing I want to do is I tone my canvas, my background canvas. I want to get that down to a mid-tone because I don't like working on white, and I've made it cool because this is all going to be moonlit except for some warm slivers of light that are going to be breaking out behind a barn. And I'm thinking, I just want to rough something in real quick. If I have this old, I'm thinking maybe corrugated metal coming off. Here's the flashing. I know the flashing because I've done construction. So we're going to have some of that. Maybe that's coming down like that for some of the eaves. And I want it kind of old and dilapidated. So I'm just adding.
So I do have a first question from Patricia McCormick Pushaw, and she's asking, do you have an online course?
Oh, do I have an online course? Girl, I've got online courses. So go, excuse me, go to creatureartteacher.com. Creatureartteacher.com is my website, and I've got all kinds of downloadable courses there. I want some of this to feel like it's old and dilapidated. So I'm going to do like a bad patch job right here.
Another very serious question. How much wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Nice.
It's coming from Thomas Jason Roberts.
So, I just want to repeat this real quick because I flubbed up on the Creature Art Teacher. It's join us for a 2-day workshop in Orlando on August 3rd and 4th. It's really going to be great, and its students and teachers can save up to 50% off. And it's
$50.
I'm sorry, $50, not 50%. I apologize. Don't quote me on that. $50, and it's go to creatureartteacher.com/Orlando 2019 /. All right. I want to get this just a little bit bigger. Paula on YouTube asks, if I can just move this out of the way and move this over here. Paul on YouTube asks, do you know of any easy ways to handle foreshortening and keeping to perspective lines with organic shapes? There's no easy way. It all comes down to observation. It really does. It comes down to observation, and you know, it's really, especially with organic shapes, because one of the things I try to do with foreshortening with organic shapes is look at the masses, find those masses first, and then look at foreshortening those, overlapping them. How do they overlap? For instance, with animals, with four-legged animals, I tend to break the animal up into 6 different masses. It's the head, it's the neck, it's the shoulders and front legs, then the body, then the hips and back legs, and then the tail. Those are the things that I overlap when I'm foreshortening. And so if you're doing something other than a four-legged animal, try looking for those masses. Look for those big parts that you can break apart and then see how they would overlap if you were to foreshorten. So that's my biggest piece of advice right there. So here I'm just adding this barn. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use of it. I might not use any of it. I have this idea that there's a barn there, and it's you know, casting through these slits right in here, casting this light, but I have a feeling it's kind of taking up a little bit too much space. But I'm going to keep it and add my owl right now, and and I try to keep it very loose when I'm drawing. You know, especially owls. Owls are really cool, especially in flight. It's just this tube. Very, very elegant, very light bird. Barn owls are. And I love that monkey face. That cute monkey face that barn owls have. That's what they call them. It's a beautiful, beautiful bird. I'm going to blow that up a little bit. Come back here, way back here, and get those eyes. And I want to make it feel like the eyes are sitting back inside that fluff of feathers. You have anything else in there, Vedanta?
Yeah.
Are you empty?
No, there's questions. Do you ever have issues with lagging in the Photoshop brushes?
I do have issues with lagging sometimes, but that's usually that usually means my computer is overloaded with stuff. Most of the time I don't. It also it could have to do with the size that you're working. If you're working really big, you will start to lag. It's giving your computer a lot to think about. So watch your size.
Vanya from England's on, and so is Lauren Black.
Oh, right on.
So we've got quite a few people popping up from the England trip.
Right on. Well, I miss you guys already. What a time we had. Question, what was my favorite meal in England? Well, I gotta say, our last night there, Vedanta and I shared a Chateaubriand. A Chateaubriand. Yes. I'm so thirsty.
With Bernaise and peppercorn sauce.
With Bernaise sauce and peppercorn sauce. And it was quite delightful.
At the Cottons. It was a very nice...
Yeah.
They had the best food there.
They did. At the Cottons. They had great food. They had burgers the size of my head. And it was just it was a beautiful meal. And at the castle, we had that one night we had salmon. I really loved that salmon, because they also had the smoked, which you didn't like, but I like that smoked mackerel.
The desserts were amazing at the castle too. They were
Yes.
so good. Someone's wondering, do you play video games, or is that just Dustin?
Just Dustin. I haven't really gotten into video games since Defender, I think, back in the 80s. You know, when I was young, I had the Pong game system, whatever game system that was. I can't remember what that was, but I had that back in the late 70s, and then I played Defender. I think I had an Atari. I had an Atari system when I was young, my brother and I. But beyond that, we never, he and I never really played video games that much.
O'Neill Berge is wondering if you're planning on doing a workshop in Switzerland someday.
Well, yes, we would definitely love to do something in Switzerland someday. We don't have anything currently planned, but someday we'd love to. I'm currently, other than the workshop that we're doing in Orlando on August 3rd and 4th, we're also looking to plan on doing some animal drawing workshops as well. I want to do something here in Florida and possibly something in Montana. And so look for those in the next year or so, or sooner, because we really are excited about that and doing some animal drawing with you guys. YouTube question. Hey Aaron, I'd like to try one of your courses someday, but I use Toon Boom Harmony. Does it matter if I don't have TV Paint? No, it is not. The courses are not software dependent at all. You can follow it on paper if you want. It really doesn't matter, because what I'm teaching are fundamentals of animation. I'm not teaching software. So the only time you have to worry about being software specific is in my digital painting course. I teach it using Photoshop, but really all my other courses are not software dependent.
Esther Rogers is asking, do you have a course on value and light source, or do you know of someone else who does if you don't?
I don't have one currently, and we will be working up to one. The next one I'm actually going to be doing is on perspective. You might want to check out Schoolism at Bobby Chu. They might have something over there. I know Bobby's got a really good selection. Or also check out Proco and his selection as well, because Proco's got some really great stuff. I gotta move this over. I gotta crop this even more. My reference.
So I do have a question. So do you have any advice for people when they try to do something they're passionate about, like drawing, and they feel an intense self-hatred because they want something so bad they beat themselves up over it?
Get over yourself. Come on, it's just art. Get over yourself. Seriously. Nothing is worth that kind of turmoil. It's just drawing. So get in there, relax. You're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna look like crap. That's how it works.
I do have a question about the Orlando event from Julie.
Hey, Julie.
She's asking if there would be a live stream version option available to purchase.
No.
If they can't make it.
No, we won't. But we've had several people ask that, and that's something else that we're going to start looking into. We're not going to be doing it for this one, but we will be doing it in the future. So if you can't make it, although we'd love to have you live, if you can't make it, we will be looking into a live stream version in the future. In the near future, actually. Will I be attending? YouTube question. Will you be attending the Lightbox Expo? Yes, I am definitely going to be there. I'm going to be doing demonstrations, lectures. I think I've got 4 different lectures or demonstrations that I'm going to be doing. Matter of fact, I owe Bobby Chu an email right after this live stream, because I've got to give him the titles to my talks.
And someone did mention that Ronnie Williford's painting lessons on Creature Art Teacher, he does touch a little bit on using value in those.
Oh yeah.
Someone of the students.
Yep, he does.
That's had the course.
Yeah, but it's not a full course on value, so to speak. So that's why I didn't mention it.
Would you ever go to Denmark?
Well, I was just in Denmark. I was in Viborg.
Oh, you did a class there, right?
I did a talk at the animation workshop in Viborg. Yes. So I guess I would go to I would go to Denmark, and we'll probably be there again. Well, I shouldn't say probably. We will be. We'll definitely be there again. So I want to get these wings just right. It's very important that I get the wings right. Wings get kind of confusing for people, and they're actually a really cool, simple. You know, if you think about wings in the way that we think about our arms, then you can understand the anatomy. Because there's a shoulder. If I were to draw a human arm under here, like this, the equivalent, this would be my shoulder right here, and then let me redo that. My shoulder would be here, and then this is an elbow. So my shoulder's down in here, under the feathers. There's my elbow, and I'd have a long forearm. And here's my wrist, with my finger pointed out. And they've atrophied, you know, they've only got like a few finger bones in there. But that's basically what it comes down to right there. It looks like that. A little bit more meat on it than that. So, but there's the elbow. There's the upper arm, shoulder, all that, and then the hand, and then everything comes off. All the feathers come off like that. And then same thing here. Here's the elbow, and then the hand going back like that.
Will you be doing any courses on pastels, oil, and the soft or the regular pastel?
Yes, we will. We just haven't gotten to it yet, but you know, that's one of the great things about our website is that it's always expanding, and not only are we going to add a lot more traditional work, but we're going to be adding a lot of filmmaking work in there as well. I want to hit. We're going to be hitting a lot of layout instruction, editing. You know, we're going to hit. Hold on one second. I'm going to get this a little bit out of proportion here. Editing, illustrate, all kinds of stuff. We've got such a huge list, and you know, this guy's way too small. This wing. And so, ultimately, the goal for Creature Art Teacher is just to have an incredibly huge library of material for you guys to choose from. We're only 5 years old, so you know, it's gonna grow. We've got a lot of room to grow, and so just stay tuned.
We also have requests for workshops in Dallas and out west in California. Just to put a pin in it.
Well, we're definitely. I'm going to grow that wing right out. There we go. We're definitely going to be hitting California, and we're definitely going to be hitting the Northwest as well. So we'll probably be hitting Oregon or Seattle, somewhere up in there. There's my size. That's the size. That's more the size that we need for that wing. And so I've got the sketch in for this owl now. Now it's a matter of finding a good balance between do I want to, like here, I could have it kind of overlapping. I don't know if I like that though. I think a clear silhouette would be best.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Like that?
Yeah, I like the clear silhouette.
Having that barn there. Like he saw something down to the left. Hey, Twitch question. Aaron, when drawing different types of animals, do you know their anatomy perfectly, or do you rely on comparative anatomy? I rely on comparative anatomy, and I rely on reference. I've got a really good knowledge of a lot of animal anatomy, but not thorough and not completely, where I can, a lot of animals I can't draw out of my head great, and so I keep what I have in my head, but then I add to it through my reference photos and research and all of that. Hey Aaron, when doing an art piece, should I start with the foreground or the background? It doesn't matter. It just it really depends on the type of art piece that you're doing. But think of it as a whole, because it's the background and the foreground together make up the whole of the image, and you want to make sure that it's all unified. So whether or not, it depends on your medium and how you're working on as to whether or not you work on that foreground or background first.
Cristiano Matos is asking, have you ever had to pitch a screenplay to a producer director? How did it go? And any tips for someone who's about to pitch a movie idea?
I've had lots of pitches, many pitches. Matter of fact, one of the biggest pitches I ever had, I pitched to Steve Jobs and Bob Iger, Dick Cook, who was the head of Walt Disney Pictures at the time. I was pitching to all of them in the room together. And the best thing I can tell you is know your subject matter. When you're pitching a movie, pitch the emotion, don't pitch the events. And it's too easy to get caught up in this happens and then this happens and then this happens, rather than how is your character feeling and what are they going through from each event to the next. That's where you spend your time, because that's the emotion, that's the hook. Okay. And so when I pitch a movie, first of all, I want to make sure I'm not pitching every detail. You don't want that. You don't need that. You want to pitch your main character's emotional journey through the story, and this is how they feel here, that sort of thing. And so when you can do that, then you've got a very emotional pitch that will sell a lot better. And so that's what I focus on. I focus on the emotion every time I pitch a story, and know that story inside and out. I don't care who you're pitching to. Tell them a story. Sit down and tell them a story. That's how I handled all of my pitches. Whether it's sitting in an office with Steve Jobs sitting across from you, and I've never been so nervous in my life, or if I'm sitting in the kitchen pitching the movie to my neighbors and seeing what they think. It's any of that, and just sit down, tell them a story, and try to get, focus on the emotion. YouTube question: will I be doing an oil painting demo anytime? You know what? I get those questions a lot. Yes, I will be. I'm going to treat this wing kind of solid. I don't want to hit every feather, and I want to give it a little bit of motion. So I think I've got enough of a sketch here.
Enos Carrick has brought your tutorials. He's trying hard to learn anatomy and storyboarding. Any other advice on what he needs for human anatomy?
If you can get into figure drawing classes, if wherever you live, if you've got figure drawing classes available, take them. They're wonderful. You will learn so much on human anatomy by taking figure drawing classes. It's one of the best things you can do. So I'm going to add some local color right now to our bird. And I'm going to keep it kind of gray in the cool area. Now I'm going to do it without any shadow, so it's going to be quite a bit brighter than what I ultimately intend. Twitch question: what's my favorite animal and why? I don't really have a favorite animal. I have favorite animals to draw and paint. But I really love all animals. The animals I really connect to are the higher intelligent animals. It's easier to see their spirit and their sentientness, if there's such a word. But all animals, I love them. I love big cats. I love bears. Obviously, you guys know that. Um, you know, the big dramatic animals I really love. I love the great apes too.
A lot of people are missing Dustin's voices. I'm sorry, I'm not as proficient at that as he is. So I'm not ignoring you, Caroline. I just can't. I'm not Dustin. Sorry.
YouTube question: do you use reference to pick the variety of colors when you're doing local colors? It depends. It depends on the image. Like today, I probably will use my reference, but I'm going to be pushing everything into a nighttime spectrum. So even though I'm using, for those of you who have come late, here I'll just show you. This is my reference I'm using right now for this piece. Right here. Let me blow that up. So this is the reference. This is a photo that Vedanta shot of a barn owl at the falconry place in Chester, England. And so I'm using that as my inspiration for this nighttime painting that I'm going to be doing of this barn owl. YouTube question: in animation industry, degree is important or portfolio is important than the degree? Always, always, always. The portfolio is more important than the degree. Nobody cares in the animation industry if you have a degree. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're lying or they don't know. So you do not have to have a degree to get a job in the animation industry at all. I know I don't have a degree, never had a degree. I went to college, but I never got the degree.
Julie is asking, she would love to go to the local zoos and draw with other artists. Are there any specific clubs or groups that you know of? Or any clubs that travel to draw? Now, she's up near Milwaukee, and I know in Chicago, which you probably don't know of groups up there.
I don't know of groups. I don't know of groups around here. That's a really good question. Matter of fact, that would be a really cool thing to start, I think, on Facebook for people that are traveling around the country. Zoo drawing groups. If we started a page for zoo drawing groups, and you could post where you're going to be, that could be really cool. Maybe that's something we can start. Nick. Birch.
Oh, am I supposed to do that with you?
No.
Nick.
Birch.
Okay, so if you had the opportunity to animate on Tarzan, which character would you have loved to be assigned to?
Oh, I loved Kerchak and Tarzan. I would have loved to have done Tarzan just to work with Glenn again. I think Kerchak was awesome. I think it was Bruce Smith that did Kerchak, I think. YouTube question: do you think it's possible for only one person to animate a full 1 hour movie? Of course. It's just going to take time. Take a few years, but of course. Alright, so I'm just laying in this local color like I said, and I'm going to lock that down. So now I want to start just laying in some of that extra color that we're going to be seeing right here. Twitch, what's your favorite? Oh, same question.
Caroline said she tried drawing spider monkeys at the Chester Zoo.
Oh yeah?
And they didn't exactly hang around for very long. Have you ever seen the movie The Fourth Kind? I know it's a random question.
No. I've never seen The Fourth Kind.
Is that the one with Mia Jovovich and the aliens up in Alaska?
I don't know.
Maybe that's not the right one.
So I'm just going to do this really loosely.
It is the one about the alien abductions in Alaska, and
Oh.
it says it has an owl in it. And the owl is significant, I guess. That's
Oh,
why.
yeah. I kind of remember that. I didn't like it. Matter of fact, I hated it.
It was made to look like a mockumentary or a documentary almost.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't real at all. It was just a fake story.
I thought it kind of sucked. Sorry. Didn't like that one. It really didn't have anything holding it together. Story was super weak, I thought.
Lauren, and I believe she's from the England trip, is saying when she takes when she does life drawing, even at the zoo, she takes photos, and she's like, I cheat and I take photos in case they move, then I can go back to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheat. There's no such thing as cheating. It's just called creating good art. So get in there and create some good art. G'day.
G'day, mate.
Mate. Create some good art, eh? So I'm just adding all this local color, and she's going to have patterns all over her as well. I'm just trying to stay really loose with this one. YouTube question: apart from Photoshop, have you worked with any digital painting software? And if so, which would you recommend for a budding digital artist to get a taste of it without having to spend $20 a month? You're a cheapskate, pal. You want to do good digital art with good software? Pay for it.
I think instead they should just use more cowbell. Sorry, that's awful Christopher Walken. Sorry, Dustin.
No, but Painter. I've used Painter, which is great, but you got to pay for that. It's I'm not sure. I know there's people out there that know some of the other free softwares. I don't use them, so I love Photoshop and everything I can do with it, and occasionally Painter. So that's my 2 cents. Is just really hold on a second. There we go. Is those two, Photoshop and Painter, are the ones that I've used. Anything else, you have to see. I'm sure other people have tried other stuff down the line. I just haven't done it. Procreate. There's Procreate, which is really great. I love that. Oh, actually, Nick says you can get Photoshop for $9 a month. And he's heard great things about Krita as well. Yeah, I have too. I just don't know how to use it. I've never used it.
Esther Rogers says she just completed your watercolor course and she loved it so much. She just wanted to thank you for putting the course together.
Thank you for telling me. It was a pleasure to create. I really enjoyed it, actually. And we're going to be doing more like that. So we're just getting this laid in really quickly. Kurt on YouTube asks, as you're doing a nighttime scene, how do you treat the value of your local colors as compared to daytime scene? Well, the beauty of digital painting is that I can just do local color as if it's lit in the daylight. And so that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to put a tone over everything like this. Watch. Bum, bum, bum. Boop. Now it's nighttime. See that? I just turned out the lights. So now what I can do is start working the values on top of that. So I'm going to go on top this. I'm going to go multiply. So I've just basically darkened everything. I'm going to go even darker in the background in a little bit. But what I want to do now is I'm going to start adding some modeling. I want to go. I want it lit from above, in the moonlight. So right now I'm going to go darker. There we go. So I just turned out the lights. And I'm just going to go a little darker right in here, under the wings, under the eyes, and basically just model where the moonlight is not going to be hitting the bird. So I'm looking at my reference and looking at how the sunlight is creating shadows, but in this version here, I'm going to use, instead of sunlight, it's going to be moonlight.
Caroline Wilson is saying that Photoshop alternatives, there's, she said try Affinity Photo. It does a great job importing, exporting. It's a one-time purchase of $50.
Well, that's cool. Try that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Would you ever do a course on drawing prehistoric animals?
Yes, I would love to do that. I don't have quite the knowledge on that. I want to find somebody. I'd love to get James Gurney to do some stuff on that. James Gurney, if you're out there, if you're listening, we'd love to have you come in and do some courses with us.
And I believe that the guy asking that question, Thomas, he's from South Wales, and he has a request to come to South Wales. There's all kinds of cool wildlife.
Well, we're just in North, almost in North
we
Wales.
We can see Wales from Chester, I think.
Yeah.
Jimmy Nicholson is asking, when you do charcoal drawings on wooden board, how do you keep the charcoal from falling off? Do you spray adhesive before or after?
You mean after the piece is done? I know I don't spray anything because it'll discolor it. I don't spray anything. So if I'm understanding the question right, I don't. If it's a fixative, if you're asking about that, I don't use fixative.
So when you're doing the charcoals, each layer, even you're brushing it off.
Yeah, it stays on.
If you touch it though, and like you can smudge it. That's why you just have to be careful with charcoals.
Yes, exactly. You can smudge it.
I have someone, Taylor Robinson, asking, say, hi Aaron, I asked a few live streams ago if you knew Chad Farron.
Yes,
and that he's my teacher and an animation mentor. I found out that, it moved, that, what is his name?
Chad Farron?
No, Massey. It's somebody else in the class. Okay, so Sylvester Massey.
Yeah, from up in Connecticut.
Is in the class with her. And she remembers you visited him at the art.
Yeah, in Connecticut.
Shop.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. They're just saying, hey.
Oh, that's cool.
I know that guy and that teacher.
Well, Chad's an awesome dude, and a really talented musician.
And Sylvester, who works at the art shop, we also met him at CTN.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ebony is asking if you ever thought about tackling some Aussie wildlife.
Yes.
Going to Australia.
Yeah, we would love to. So I'm just going to work this a little bit. So I'm working the shadows, working some of these shadows out here. But I want this all to really kind of have kind of an impressionistic feel to it. So I got a little bit of work to do. Dan on YouTube says, I don't always miss grown male strangers when they're gone, but when I do, it's Aaron Blaise.
Stay thirsty, my friend.
Yes. Well, I missed you guys as well. Twitch question: have you ever seen Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole? If so, what do you think about it? I really liked Legends of the Guardians, and I thought it was pretty cool. I thought they had a problem with. I think they were a little too close to their characters because I don't think they saw it, but their characters all looked a lot alike, and it was hard to tell them apart sometimes. But I really loved the research that they did and then the way it came off. My good friend Chuck Williams, who was my producer who is the producer of Brother Bear and co-director with me on The Legend of Tembo, Chuck produced that, and he came into it later. But he said, it was an interesting project to work on.
Chelsea Henry asks, she says, "Hi, Aaron," and
Hi.
hello. Will there be a chance to personally meet you during the Orlando workshop?
Of course, yeah, that's one of the benefits. I want to meet everybody that comes in. Absolutely, for sure.
And someone is asking if the owl's male or female, and Lauren Black already replied, but is a female owl.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, because of the spots.
Oh, is that what's the differentiating?
Yeah, remember when she was giving us the lecture?
Oh, I was taking so many pictures, I wasn't listening as much.
Because she's got the spots. Now, I don't have spots on her now. They'll be there.
The spots on the backs of the wings?
On the chest and on the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the chest and all that. So I'm just getting a little darkness in here. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And answering Rowan, he does have reference for the drawing. He came in late. He's just asking.
Oh yes, I have reference.
There is a photo of the owl.
Yes.
Do you know when you're going to be coming to Seattle, Oregon?
Seattle or Oregon? I don't know. Sometime in the future. How's that?
That's perfect, I think. At some point. I mean, it's definitely
sometime in the future.
Something we do, right?
Zemo on YouTube asks, what advice can you give for drawing dragons? I find it difficult since there's no reference you can use. Well, come on, think about it. There's tons of reference you can use. I mean, look at what we've got. There's a lot of things that you can jam together. First of all, we've got a lot of great lizards that you can use as inspiration, first of all. So lots of monitor lizards that I find, monitor lizards, and there's tons of different species of monitor that I find really great inspiration for dragons. And then look at different birds that you can mix with those dragons and the way that they're built. I've got one. Hold on, I want to see dragon.
It's kind of the combination of like lizards or reptilians and reptiles and birds, right? Kind of.
Yes.
Or even
exactly.
bats or something.
Because I did a dragon. Well, there it is. So this dragon. Let me bring that down here. Oops, hold on. No. I'll just bring this one down. So this one, I don't know if it's finished or not. But this was one that I did, and I used... Come on, baby. I was looking at an osprey, bird, and a monitor. This was, I can't remember what type of monitor lizard this was. And then I just kind of changed things around a little bit. It's not a great drawing, but I mixed it in with, I looked at the wings and used bat wings, brought the bat wings in, looked at the legs of an osprey and just basically pulled the feathers off, and looked at the markings on this monitor lizard, and then created this image. It's a quick sketch, but it was a fun little drawing to do. So yeah, there's lots of. I would recommend looking at looking at lots of different types of lizards, mixing those with birds. Look at bats and how their anatomy works. Look at all that stuff. Pull it all together, and you'll have yourself a great dragon.
Have you ever met Keegan Michael Kay?
No, I have not. I have not.
I don't know who that is. It's probably bad.
Twitch question: did you know that there are camels in Australia? I did. They were brought over. When were they brought over? I can't remember when they were brought over, but they were brought over at a certain time. And yes, they're not native to Australia, but they are there.
Some of the students from England are saying that today was like the worst day to go back to work, and they're just miserable because they missed the class so much. It was like doing what they love, and
hey,
they
you know
miss
what?
It.
I miss you guys too, except I'm not miserable because I'm back at doing what I love. No, but I miss you guys. It was really a great time. For those that weren't able to go, you don't know what you missed. It was really something special, and but we're going to be doing it again, and it was really beautiful, and I'm really looking forward to the next time we get to do it again.
Arthur asks, have you seen the live action Aladdin yet?
I have not, unfortunately. I have not.
But we are going to see Lion King maybe tonight.
Tonight, I think we're going to go see Lion King tonight. I'm pretty stoked. I've heard a lot of bad things about it, so my expectations aren't super high. But I'm really excited to see it. I've been excited to see it, and I think it's going to be cool. I think it'll be a visual feast.
And it's going to be different than the original. They've taken some stuff out and changed things a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm interested too. Kirk Michael said he really enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
So I don't know of anyone else that's seen it yet.
So I'm giving this guy a little bit of moonlight. For those that haven't seen, I'm using a bird that's photographed in the day, but creating some moonlight. Just doing the sketch. I'm really just, like I said, I just want this to be a sketch, and I got to get this barn done here real quick. Got to get that.
So Gabby, Gabby, she says,
Gabby.
Dude, how's Grandpa Marshall? Dude.
Marshall's actually great. Actually, Marshall's sick as a dog right now. He ended up getting some kind of bug. I called him today, and he sounded horrible.
Oh yeah, you put him on speaker. It was just
But
very bad.
I know he would love to know that his favorite adopted granddaughter Gabby was asking about him. So here I'm just creating this. It's almost going to act like a frame. I want this little barn element to be in here. It's going to get really dark up in here, and I'm going to have some plant elements. Some sort of like, everywhere you look there is blackberries growing and vines and rose bushes and all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna get that all in there.
Vanya's asking you and me about our favorite part of the England trip.
It was well, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, everything at the castle was wonderful. Meeting everybody was probably one of my favorite things. Just to get to meet everybody, and the way I told everybody this at the workshop. I've done a lot of workshops that I've been a part of, not that I've necessarily taught. And there's always, what am I doing? There's always at least one jerk in the mix.
And if you don't know, if you can't figure it out, it's you.
Yeah, right.
They were laughing about that.
Yeah. No, but it's and there wasn't a single ass in the group, and that was really nice.
I just love the fact that it was everybody that just loves art, and they were there for the art.
Yeah.
And it was like minds, and then of course the food was so good.
Yeah.
Dinner was, I think, really incredible at the castle. That's one of my favorite parts.
I loved when we'd go out and paint, and that was wonderful. I love painting, obviously, and painting with everybody. But I liked coming back and having dinner and then sitting outside and having a Guinness and just talking and laughing and that. I thought that was cool.
And the Stumpfwaffles were great.
The Stumpfwaffles were awesome.
Thank you. I ate most of your present, but sorry.
So I'm going to go in now and I want to just loosely indicate some of the see if I can do this in here. I'll do it here.
Have you ever been attacked by an animal?
No. Not in the sense that you're thinking. I've been charged by an elephant while I was in an RV, a Land Rover. I've been threatened by a lioness while I was in a Land Rover. But not. I've never been really attacked by an animal. I'm always really respectful, and I'm always really hyper aware of an animal's attitude as well. Always.
'Cause they'll put up signs.
Yes.
If they're uncomfortable or stressed out.
Yep, they do.
And they smell fear.
They do. And so no, I've never really had that. I've never had an issue like that. I think the worst thing that's happened to me with animals is I was stung by a puss caterpillar. I've been stung by saddleback caterpillars, which really sucked, and I've been stung by puss caterpillar, which is even worse. It's this little white furry caterpillar we have in the south that I got stung near my elbow. It was on a picnic table, and I plopped my arm down on it. And I'm going to move this to here, I think.
Come on, bugs, mosquitoes, or leeches, but
Yeah.
not like a giant cat or something.
No, nothing like that. But this puss caterpillar, I was writhing and back and forth in agony in my bed for hours before the pain finally metabolized, before the poison finally metabolized in my system. It was horrible. So I'm just making up some plants right here because I don't have any reference to go off of. I just wanted to add I thought it might be interesting to add a few plants kind of on the back side of this owl.
Carly, and I believe she was from, Saskatchewan? No, it was Canada somewhere. You remember?
Oh, and then was it Halifax or Nova Scotia?
Nova Scotia. She's saying she loved meeting everybody. Everyone was really friendly and passionate about art. So,
Yep.
just a shout out from a lot of your students on today.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they're happy now they have art friends. They have people around the world that are as passionate as they are.
Yeah. See, these are the benefits of doing these workshops. You end up making friends, like forever friends. Really great friends.
And people are loving the owl. They just are the color scheme so far, the composition, everything. It's
good.
Looking great.
It's going to be really cool when I get that light on them. I'm not quite there yet. just want to get some of these plants in. Might do something up here.
A couple people have been attacked by seagulls.
I had a seagull shit in my mouth. Right in my mouth.
Kirk Michael's saying that he actually has scars from one attacking him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but poop in the mouth, that's gross.
Scars from a seagull attack?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read it right.
Holy cow. That's a dead seagull, otherwise known as a dumb chicken.
Right, rampant seagulls. Oh, someone said that I'm doing great. They don't even miss Dustin. They're just like, this is fine. Oh. Everybody's missing Dustin. He'll be back next week.
Come on, it was either... I think this is great. I mean, it's either Vedanta or nothing.
Fun. I'm having a blast.
Good.
So.
Gotta blow this up a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to do, just real quick, I'm going to not do that. Turn that off. So I want that light going across him, and I got to figure. I want it like a sliver of light here. Oh no. Maybe here. It's going to be an experiment.
I don't know if I should ask this. Something asking's what that seagull poop tastes like.
It tasted like rotten fish. I don't know if this is working yet or not.
And I don't know if this is a real question, but have you ever seen a quick brown fox jump over the lazy dogs? What does that mean?
That phrase, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, contains every letter of the alphabet.
Oh.
It's something you do when designing type and that sort of thing. You can write it out.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Thomas. You making fun of me?
No, I don't think he is actually. But I'm not sure that the light idea is going to work because it's a little far away from the barn. One of the things I need to do is show that there's light coming out of the barn. Where's the drawing? The drawing's there. So I need to take some of that. Just a couple little slivers of light right here. I want this to look pretty cool, but I don't want these slivers of light to be distracting. YouTube question: wouldn't it be easier to use a foliage brush to draw the plants, or like a leaf brush, or do you prefer drawing it by hand? On that note, do you use custom brushes often? I make custom brushes, and but I find that if I'm using a foliage brush, it's going to get a little repetitious. So I'm trying to be a little bit more organic by drawing it by hand. All right, so let's go through here.
Lucrecio says Dustin's dad is cool.
Damn right he is.
So Dustin's the star, and you're the dad,
Right.
basically. Someone
funny.
is requesting you bring Marshall on one of the shows.
Oh, heck
and,
yeah!
And have him, contribute to the banter.
Yes, we can do that. Vedanta, we should have the whole gang. So we'd have Vedanta, Marshall, Nick.
No.
Nick never contributes. Nick, well, I mean, he doesn't speak, is what I mean.
He's the man in the shadows.
Yes.
Man of mystery.
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 Man of mystery. And Tony Howard's having issues with the website. It's bringing up an error.
Nick.
Nick, do the thing. Nick.
There, see, you did it.
Nick, do the thing. So Tony Howard, there should be a place on the website where you can get support, right? Creature Art Teacher support.
Yeah.
And they can help you out with that.
Oops. Let's see something here real quick. We gotta grab that. There we go.
Banterologist, if you will.
A banterologist?
Yeah. That's what Marshall and will be. Banterologists.
Again, we need a bleep tool. Sorry.
What? Why?
I guess I've sworn a few times.
Oh.
Sorry, folks.
Sorry, kids. If there's any kids watching.
YouTube question. Wouldn't it be easy? Oh, sorry. I'm reading the same thing over again.
What's your worst fear?
Well, it's a little personal.
I know. It was just up there. Sorry.
Yeah. Skip it.
Skip it.
What if I want to try something different here. Turn that off. I really want to do the light across the bird.
The light coming from the barn? Or light from somewhere else?
Coming from the barn. Might knock that back.
So where would it fall? I have a couple people asking where would the light necessarily fall. I know you're going to get into that.
Well, there's light. The light that's coming out of these sideboards are not the light that's hitting him because he's at a different angle. This is light coming from the other boards on the other side of the
They're
wall.
off screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I do a repeating pattern, it'll read better.
Oh, that looks good. Did we enjoy the Magical Mystery Tour? Did you?
I really did. Yes.
That was one of the highlights of visiting England. The castle was amazing, but going to like Strawberry Fields,
Yeah.
Penny Lane, with Marshall.
Yeah. See, my father is a huge Beatles fan, and when he had his band, they did Beatles covers and all kinds of stuff. So
Back in the 60s, right?
Yeah, back in the 60s and 70s. And so to be with him while he, he gets to see these places that he'd only dreamed of seeing as a younger man was really cool. Just going to open this up a little bit. Maybe so that works a little better. I'm not sure this is working well.
Peter Newport saying it would be really awesome to see your Photoshop.
Twitch comment, how about the barn has a light bulb on the outside? That's an interesting idea. Say that again now?
Oh, it's okay. They're saying it would be really cool to see your Photoshop commands as you paint, like to see what, I know, everything you hit. I know that would be.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll work on that. I think a light bulb, I want the bird to be mostly in the dark. I don't want to light everything up. And that light bulb will really draw a lot of attention. I like the idea of it. Might be something I try on at a different time.
And don't you have some Photoshop directional videos on YouTube?
Yes.
Yes.
Almost all of them.
So,
But anytime I'm doing digital painting, I'm working in Photoshop.
So Peter, check out those on YouTube. You might find what you're looking for as far as the actual commands and.
Kind of reading is late, right?
I think so.
I don't want to. I really wanted to do it around the head, but I think this is going to work just fine.
Because it's coming from behind, it would just hit the wings and the.
Yeah. Something that's kind of cool there. I think. Methinks.
Have you ever used Adobe Illustrator?
You know what? I never really have, especially not for illustrating. For painting like this, I've never done it.
So Gabby's asking, when you darken the whole thing, you just put a wash of blue over
Yeah, that's all I did. Here, this is it right
to
here.
create the night effect?
Yep, I just put a wash of blue, set it to multiply. Whoops. There it is.
Oh, wow.
Just like that. You can be surprisingly loose with it. Now I want to go back in, and I'm going to draw over the top of the whole thing. Now I'm grabbing local color. And I want to really hit that moonlight. So I'm going to grab some of that moonlight color. Go a little brighter. YouTube question. What do you think of the Mulan live action movie? I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Has it? I thought it didn't come out yet.
No, it hasn't come out yet. That's why I haven't seen it yet. Now, if you're asking me what do I think of the idea of doing it, I think it's going to be super cool. Personally.
The brushes that you're using, do you sell all of them on your website?
Not all of them. The one I'm using right now, I do sell. But most of everything I use, I sell on my website. Yeah, we have thousands of brushes on the website, and they're all really great.
He's saying maybe a collection of your go-tos.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good idea actually. A collection of my go-to brushes.
The ones that you use on your live streams mostly.
Yeah. Nick says Adobe Illustrator is vector-based. It's more suited to logos, graphics, etc.
Someone's suggesting fireflies in the background, although I don't.
Oh, you caught me because that's what I would.
Oh.
I actually planned on doing that. That was going to be my surprise little last touch.
Are they in England, fireflies?
I thought they were. Are there fireflies? Yeah. I think fireflies are worldwide.
Do you think that a live-action Brother Bear is something we might see in the future?
No.
That's sad.
Well, I mean,
I'd love to see a live-action Brother Bear.
I would love to see it, but I don't think it's ever going to be anything we'll see. Brother Bear didn't do well enough in the box office to warrant any kind of live-action remake.
But it's an American epic tale.
It is. Whoa. All of a sudden we got really laggy. What's going on?
On the Cintiq?
Yeah, it's fine now.
And it looks fine on this end.
So I'm just going through and hitting where I think the moonlight would be. Oh, the Mulan trailer is out now. I haven't seen the Mulan
Oh, really?
trailer.
I saw the teaser.
I haven't seen it.
I didn't know there was a trailer. I think they recast or something. I saw one that was older, and then I saw a newer one with a totally different cast.
The older one you saw, I think, was
Was
a
fake?
was a fan. Yeah, it was
Oh,
a fan
okay.
one.
It was a hope. hopeful.
Yeah. So right now what I'm doing is I'm shooting for,
Have you saved yet?
there are no fireflies in the UK.
But are there barn owls in the United States?
Oh yeah, barn owls are worldwide.
Well then. And they're saying save, don't forget to save.
Oh yeah.
Because of the lagging especially.
Hold on, let me do that.
Manuel just saw the movie Mowgli and he really liked it.
What the heck? This is really lagging. Uh-oh.
Okay.
I got the spinning wheel of death.
While you're saving?
There we go. Yeah, while I was saving.
Whew. That's no bueno.
No, I know. So say that again? Manuel what?
He said he saw Mowgli and he really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, Mowgli's awesome. I thought that was a really good film. I wouldn't say it's awesome, but I liked it. I wish I could have spent more time and done. I wish they would have let me do something different with the character design.
Yeah, because you started it and then they went in a different direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was more motion capture. What do they call that?
Well, it was designed more for motion capture. So I'm trying to get a little bit of reflected light, like there's moonlight bouncing off the ground here. Keeping it loose. This is just a sketch. Just a sketch, my friends.
Not a lot of questions, more comments.
It's okay.
Just everyone's sad that the trip's over, but Vanya's saying it makes the trip made her feel so much happier about art in general.
Oh, that's nice.
Like,
That's
because
a really
I guess
nice
she was
comment.
kind of in a funk maybe, and then it kind of, brought out her passion again. And
That's super
doing it.
cool.
And the piece she did when she got back, she posted yesterday, was amazing.
It
I love
really
the
was.
flowers. It's easy to get down on yourself, but then when you're surrounded by other artists,
Yeah,
You
there's an inspiration that you
they're-
get.
Yeah, you get inspired from the people around you and encouraged and.
So I'm just trying to even a little bit of this out. It's feeling a little bit all over the place in its color.
You're being invited to Kosovo. They want you to come there.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Said grew up on Brother Bear and Aladdin, and would love for you to come to Kosovo.
That sounds awesome.
And Vendetta sounds like a nice lady.
Vendetta. Oh, she's got a vendetta.
I've been called worse. It's fine. When fixing mistakes on animation, is it easier in digital than on paper? If so, can you describe the pros and cons?
Well, I mean, I don't know that it's any easier either way. I mean, you have to go back through and, toss out animation that's been done. Whoops. Stuck on it. There we go. So, what am I doing here? Something's not right. Oh, I hit the wrong brush. Um, it's always a little, when you have to go back and change things. It's always a little disheartening. With paper, I mean, you got to, you know, do new drawings or erase back and figure things out that way, which always can be a pain in the butt. Um, with digital, it's slightly easier. So yeah, I mean it's never. I shouldn't say easier. I should say less hard. Might be a little less hard.
Can you speak more than one language?
I wish I could. I can't. I'm pure American.
Now
Wait,
someone.
I know there's a lot of Americans that speak other languages, but I'm typical American.
Yo hablo español un poquito.
Yeah.
I speak a little Spanish, but that's
You
it.
do.
That's it.
You do well.
I could get by, maybe. I can speak Australian.
Stride.
Australian.
Stride.
Talking like this with your mouth shut,
Stride.
right?
Stride.
Right.
Stride.
How is Snow Bear coming along?
It's coming along. I haven't been able to do much on it in the last couple of weeks because we've been out of town, but it's coming along. It's going to be great. I can't wait to get it done and out to you guys. It's really going to be great. Here, I'm just going to keep this really simple. I'm going to get some of these spots in here. Spots.
Have you ever met animator Richard Williams or seen his work? Like The Thief and the Cobbler or Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I've seen lots of his work. Set this to multiply. I used to work with his son Alex Williams. I never met Richard though.
Wasn't the first animated piece you worked on the Roger Rabbit Trail Mix-Up or something?
Yep.
Or was it?
Yep, it certainly was. Roller Coaster Rabbit.
Roller Coaster Rabbit.
Yep.
Which went out with the Dick Tracy movie.
Are you an artist, Vedanta?
I am an artist. I do mostly acrylic on canvas, and then just recently last year started digital on Photoshop, which I love.
Aaron, wouldn't the light be reflecting on the plants in the background as well? Yes, it would. That's a good call. And that's something I plan on doing, but I was just so focused on the owl, I hadn't really got to it yet.
Jana's asking, in the other live streams you've mentioned that Brother Bear it was a long haul. It took 6 years.
Yeah.
Which made it tough. But the end was so beautiful, it made her cry. Was the end, thought to make it through? Oh, was the end tough to get through, tough to make?
Yes, it was. It's a good question. It was very tough, and it was emotional for us as well. But it just, the movies aren't made linearly. We don't start at the beginning and work through to the end. They're all made like puzzle pieces. And so I think our last thing that we were working on, if I remember right, I'm trying to remember, I think it was some of the stuff in the beginning, the funeral and all that, were some of the last sequences that we put into production. It's because we couldn't quite decide from a writing standpoint what we wanted to say, what we wanted Tanana to say. But there's always a bit of emotion just by the sheer fact that you got the movie done. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe I made it. But sorry, I'm just trying to get these dots in here. But it's definitely an emotional experience for sure. Yeah.
Kirk Michael is saying he would love to see you do another John Lewis commercial.
I would love to do another John Lewis commercial. I just don't know that they'll have me do it.
And the bear in the hair still gives him shivers every time you see it.
Oh,
Me too.
thank you.
I get like choked up every time I see it. It's such
Thanks.
a beautiful commercial, and I hate commercials.
I loved making it.
What was your very first piece of animation you've ever done besides the bouncing ball?
It was a flour sack piece of animation that I did, and I remember shooting it on the Lion Lamb on Flower Street at the animation studio at Disney Animation Studios in California, and I was blown away to see something move. You know, for the first time that I had animated, it was just such a cool. It was such a cool experience. It was very, very cool. And hold on one second. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out. There we go. I was hooked. I was just absolutely hooked at that moment. I'm going to soften some of these hard shadows. Just soften them just a little bit. I want to see if I turn off my drawing, what that looks like. If I turn that back on, I'm going to get rid of some of that drawing.
Have you ever looked at your older work and kind of been embarrassed by some of the stuff that you've done a long time ago?
I'm never embarrassed by it. I don't think anyone should ever be embarrassed by something they did when they were learning. No. Never. You know, that's stuff that I did a long time ago and I was learning.
And every piece
I'd be embarrassed
makes
if
you better,
it I'd be embarrassed if it looked the same. That means I haven't grown. But no, don't ever be embarrassed by your old work. You shouldn't be. I'm never, no.
Okay, so Alexa Irene missed this. She's asking the barn owl, the spots on the barn owl, what do they represent? Are they age spots, or do more appear as they get older?
You know what? I'm not sure. And that's a good question, and I don't know the answer to it. I know the females have them. I'm assuming it's for camouflage, but I don't know. If there's a resident barn owl expert out there, maybe you can chime in. Is there ever an appropriate use of glitter in a painting? I can't say that there is. I don't know. What a question. Aaron, have you met Steven Silver? Yes. Matter of fact, I hired Steven Silver for some work on one of the films I was directing at one time.
Caroline's saying that the spots are not correlated with age. They're not. They don't correspond to age on the owl. They don't get more of them or anything. They're just coloration.
Right.
For the female, yeah. She is our. Is she from? No, Midland. She's a Midlander.
Midland.
Oh, Brian Johnson saying hello, welcome back.
Hey, Brian Johnson.
And it feels like 105 degrees out here in Florida.
Yeah, well, you're pretty much in 105 degrees. You're living it, dude. I don't know how you do it.
What are good animation exercises or shots to work on to improve one's skills?
Jumping jacks.
Really?
What?
Jumping jacks?
You said exercises. I'm an idiot.
Animation exercises.
No, just anything with acting. You know, just focus on your acting. You know, everyone asks me about, you know, how they get better. Just animate but, you know, to me, great animation is bringing things to life. You know, it's not about how you move stuff, and so really focus on that acting.
Aw, Stella said she really appreciated when I would come around to the artists and tell them, oh my god, that looks great, you're doing a great job. She said just the saying good job meant a lot. And that's sweet. That makes me...
Well, what you were doing was sweet. It really was a great time. It was absolutely amazing.
would you sell this as a print?
I'd probably finish it up a little bit more. This is still just a sketch. There. How's that looking?
It's looking incredible.
There we go. Well, a little bit more of whatever that color is, get a little brighter. Let's get into here. Just want to get these feet drawn in.
Grace says, listening to someone draw a barn and barn owl while cleaning a barn.
What?
She's cleaning a barn,
she's
I guess,
cleaning a
right
barn?
now. And she's listening to the live stream. But in Florida, alas, not England. And a lot of people tune in while they're at work.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Yeah, I think that's really cool.
You should come do a workshop north of the wall. I guess that's Scotland, Lauren said. Lauren Black. I think she was the one person from Scotland.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Because we talked about yesterday about going to Scotland.
Yeah, we did.
I love it. It's on my list. People are saying they would buy this print in a second and hang it on their wall.
Oh, cool. So I just want you to see, I mean, the big lesson here today is I wanted you all to see how you don't have to let your reference really dictate. And I'm always trying to push this idea on you guys. Don't let your reference really dictate how you do your image. You know, this is a nighttime scene. Drawn from a daytime scene from my reference. I'm just going to go in and hit a couple little details in here. It's a little too bright.
Do you remember working with John Weber on Brother Bear?
Oh, yeah.
He is my current animation professor.
I do. Weber. Is that up at SCAD? I think that's SCAD where he's at. Just cutting this back a little bit.
Which classic painter or master is your favorite? Like in medieval times. Do you have any heroes?
Not in medieval times, I don't know. But my favorite classic painters are John Singer Sargent and Joaquin Sorolla, Anders Zorn, Bruno Liliafours.
And they're saying that you're one of their favorite masters.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't consider myself a master by any means, but I do appreciate the compliment.
SCAD, yes, SCAD. Don't let reference dictate my outcome.
Ed Zachary.
They said it's embedded in their brain. It's something they've learned from you and they're not going to forget.
Good. Lose some of these lines off the feathers here. There we go. I want to blur those feathers. I want to blur them, I tell you. I want to blur them. Let's do this first. We're coming down the home stretch here. We've been at it for an hour and a half.
And they're saying they disagree. Mr. Blaise, sorry to disagree. You are a master at animation.
Thank you all.
Have you ever heard of Troll Hunters? It's an animated series.
I
from
loved it.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Troll Hunters was a movie that I saw. It was a Norwegian film that I really liked.
Oh, okay. This is saying it's a TV show, animated.
That I haven't heard of. No.
Guillermo del Toro, I love.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
I've not heard of that.
Try some of these leaves out. See what happens.
Did you know that there was going to be a Brother Bear TV series, but it never got made?
No, I didn't know that. Never heard that one.
It says Troll Hunters is on Netflix. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Not sure if this is what I want or not. It's light on these leaves. Just a little bit less. That feels right. That's not right.
Being lit from the other side of the barn?
Yeah. You guessed it. So here, I want to go a little brighter on these underside of these and warmer. Let's go warm. The underside of these boards. The joists right here. And along there. This would actually catch a little bit more.
Someone's suggesting a little field mouse on the wires or something.
That's an interesting idea.
But I kind of like the way it is. But.
Knock that back just a little bit. Getting a little bit of light in there.
Jeffrey Roberts said, I just purchased this Antique Pro 24. I need brushes. You have brushes? Be prepared to take lots of my money.
I have brushes, baby.
So many brushes.
So many brushes. Thousands of brushes.
There's a question, besides the film Snow Bear, are there any other movies you're working on or thinking about working on?
No, not right now. Not currently. Where did I put those? There we are.
Do you still know or talk to your teachers from Ringling?
A couple of them. Well, one of them.
Couple,
Something like that.
yeah.
No, one. Yeah, Regan Dunnick. Regan. Oh, Regan Dunnick. Oh, I got a whole bunch of stuff up here. I've been neglecting. Sorry. Karen says, I'm right now drawing this owl on my sketchbook. Oh, and by the way, thank you so much on the anatomy tutorial. It's the best. And I'm about to start college animation in August. Well, good luck with that. That's awesome. Can we see the sketches you did of the birds on your trip? No. because I don't have I don't have them with me right now, but I'll show them next time. I really didn't do a lot of sketches. I just did some anatomy lessons for everybody. I let everybody else sketch because I went on and did some plein air painting after that. YouTube question. Aaron, will you be storming Area 51? I will not. I will not be, because I do not believe that there's any aliens there.
I got that question too, but I skipped it.
Yeah, that was
there's
Nick.
all these memes now on Facebook.
Yeah, I know.
Like Keanu Reeves is storming Area.
I know. Yeah.
So is drawing from life really important, or can you get away from using photos?
No, drawing from life is very important. If you want to get better, draw from life. Always. And I want to remind you guys again, I know I sound like a broken record for those of you that are listening faithfully all the time. But join me on August 3rd and 4th here in Orlando. I'm doing a animation, or not just animation, I'm going to be doing a workshop for 2 days, August 3rd and 4th, where I talk about animation, I talk about character design, I talk about digital painting, we're going to talk about story, we're going to talk about everything that I've done over the last 35 years of my career in animation. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys. I know you guys are going to love it, and please, please, please come on out and join us. It's going to be a blast. So that's going to be August 3rd and 4th here in Orlando at the Repertory Theater, right next door to the Orlando Art Museum and the Orlando Science Center. It's really, really great, and it's going to be really a lot of fun. And I would really love to meet you. And so please, if you can make it, come on out. And if you're a student or a teacher, you can save $50 on a 2-day pass. So that would be really great. So please come on out, and we'd love to have you out. YouTube question: when you first get an idea for a movie, what do you do with it? How do you start building on it? Well, that's one of the best questions we've gotten in a long time. So thank you for whoever asked that. You have to start making it real. And when I come up with an idea, I'm very structure oriented too. So I try to find some kind of thematic that movie would be about. What is the story? What is the idea that the story is trying to tell? What is the lesson it's trying to give? Something like that. And that's the wrong layer. Well, anyway, I'll just do it on here. And so, once I find that theme, then from that point moving forward, everything that I create for that story should be in support of that thematic. So that's why the theme is the thing that holds everything together. It holds the whole story together. It's what the movie is about. And so I think it's a very important thing to come up with. And so that's the biggest thing I do, is find that theme. Mr. Blaise, and then character. Really start fleshing out the characters. So theme and character are my biggest things. Mr. Blaise, are you experienced in oil painting? Yes, I am. I'm about to buy the Gamblin intro set. I was wondering if you had any brand suggestions. My favorite brand of all time I always use is Winsor Newton. But Grumbacher's great. There's a lot of really good brands out there. I like Winsor Newton, but you can, don't take my word for it. You can get any number of great paints out there.
When is your Birds of Prey course going to be released?
That is one of the reasons I was doing this here. I think this is going to come out too dark real quick. Hold on one second. Let me do this here. That's better. The Birds of Prey course. When I get it done, I'm going to be doing it not next. The next course I do is going to be a perspective course. And so, and I've been wanting to do that for a while. So, be patient, and we'll have something for you soon. Sorry, I'm just trying to I'm getting to that point where I'm really thinking about what it is I'm creating here, and I'm having a hard time talking at the same time. I want to make sure I'm creating interest everywhere on here. Any advice for a young artist who doesn't know what the next step for their work is? You know what the next step is? Draw. Paint.
Do the thing.
Do the thing. Take lessons. Do whatever it takes.
I have a couple people coming in late, and they're wondering about if you could just talk about the castle trip one more time, a little bit of the highlights maybe.
Well, the highlights were the people. That's what the highlights were. It was an amazing time. The castle was awesome, of course, but having everybody there, having such a great class, and they were class. They were a classy class. Put it that way.
Class act.
They were awesome.
They were.
And I wouldn't trade it. I mean, I was really nervous about the whole thing, wanting to make sure that everyone really got what it is that they wanted out of it. And filter, blur this. Just to push all that back a little bit. I wanted everyone to get what they wanted out of it, and I was really happy with just how everything went, and I think everybody else was. I'm pretty sure.
I was. I mean, everybody that I talked to was having a great time.
Yeah.
It was just the whole experience, the art, but then also just the camaraderie.
Yeah.
And getting to know people, and it was very cool. I have someone asking, are there mediums that you're not as comfortable with? Maybe like sculpture or something that you would in the future get into?
Yeah, sculpture is one. It's a good answer. Good example. I haven't really sculpted at all since college, so I love sculpture and I love to do it. Just not great at it. I wouldn't say I'm very accomplished at it. So
and
yeah, I'd love to do more sculpture.
We watched that new series Blown Away on Netflix.
Oh yeah, glass blowing.
The glass blowing.
That was cool.
Which is fascinating. Oh my! But looks so difficult.
It did. It was awesome. It really was. I want to put another layer back there. Behind the plants. Behind the owl. I want to put another layer of plants back there. I want to do it pushed back.
I wanted to read this from Luke Scott. He said, the whole thing really helped me in many ways, but yours and Ronnie's talks really touched me. They re-inspired me to get back into actual art. The evening talks were my favorite part, sharing stories and cultural exchanges, and I'm already saving to go to the next one.
Oh, Luke, you're awesome. Thank you very much. It was a great time. I mean, I can't tell everybody enough how awesome it was.
Lauren says, drawing by day, drunk by night, living the dream for a few days.
Yes, that's pretty much it. Come on.
Any plans to visit Germany?
Not currently, no. But we probably will at some point.
And a double question. Do you like Vincent van Gogh? And then also, do you think Mona Lisa is overrated? Which they're by totally different artists and totally different eras. I mean, like Vincent van Gogh.
I like Vincent van Gogh, and no, I don't think she's overrated.
I never realized how tiny it is.
Oh, it's a very small painting, yeah. But, you know, I don't think Leonardo was overrated by any means, and so I think the Mona Lisa is a beautiful example of his work. I know a lot of people that do think it's overrated, but I'm not one of them.
Gabby would like to see more face drawings and illustrations from you.
How's it feel to want?
I know. You get a bear.
No, that's a great idea. I'll do that. Yeah, because there's somebody out there that commented that they hated my human drawings, and so I gotta live up to that. I gotta take care of that, fix that.
Really? I see. I love your portraits and your character designs.
Well, not that I didn't take it to heart. They can hate anything they want. I think that's awesome. But it made me think that maybe I'm not doing enough human stuff too, because I do think I do human stuff as well as I do animal stuff. I just don't always do it.
I feel like your humans are very pushed, and they're
when I'm doing cartoon.
Yeah,
humans,
when you're doing like characters and stuff.
Yeah.
Character designs and things.
All right, so let's get these right here.
But your pen and ink portraits, I think, are great. I've seen some of those.
Nick says, "I am drinking mead." Nick's drinking mead.
It's freaking 2:00 in the afternoon, Nick.
Ginjamin on YouTube says, "After subscribing, you're always in my home. So welcome, Professor." I thank you so much. I want to know that you have changed. I want you to know that you've changed my life. Thanks, Aaron. Well, thank you. That was a really nice little sentiment right there. Thank you.
Aww. You've changed my life. Gabby's saying that the class also reminded her that you don't have to take art so serious all the time, and
No.
she was in a funk, and then
It's just art.
You know, because realism and representational art's so different than doing cartoons. You know, but it's like both are valid art forms. You know, you don't have to kind of beat yourself up because you can't do this well or you do something else well.
Exactly. I certainly don't. There we go. That's what I want. Twitch question: what tool are you using for the lighting? I'm not using any tool for the lighting. I'm not sure. I don't know what you mean. I am using blend modes. I'm using multiply and that sort of thing. But I'm just painting. That's the tool. My painting tool. I'm just a painting.
Will you draw a special drawing on World Lion Day again?
Yes. When is that? Are we coming up on it again?
When is that? Maxie Perlberg? They might know. It's probably coming up soon.
I know I did one last year.
Will you ever visit India and maybe draw Indian elephants and Bengal tigers?
Yes, I've been to India. I've been to Delhi and really enjoyed it. And yeah, so I will be back there again someday.
Mona Lisa looks like she sat on a donut. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Sometimes I feel like I'm sitting on a carrot. What?
Not at the dinner table. Potty talk. Laura's saying she recently finished your character design course and it was funny seeing you with long hair again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that long hair is a thing of the past. I'll never see that again.
You look dapper like this.
Oh, I'm going to buzz it all off. I'm getting ready to cut it all off. So, I love having short hair now.
You're just going to have a shaved head, huh?
I think I'm just going to just buzz it. Yeah. Soul of a Painter on YouTube says, due to a bad back, I had to give up working on my easel and thought my art life was over, but you've changed everything for me, Aaron. Thank you. Wow, that was really nice. Thank you for saying that. I kind of like it going this way.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know why, but I just seem to like it better.
It's funny flipping it. I always used to look at my paintings in a mirror.
Yeah.
To see if it looked off, you know?
Yeah.
It looks good.
I like that. I want to blur those wings, give them a little motion. Is that what I'm going to try? I'm going to try this. Put everything in a folder. Copy the folder. Going to... Oh, you know what I haven't done? I'll do that. I can do that later. I haven't done the fireflies. And I want to do some stars.
Oh, yeah.
I want to do some stars as well.
Do you know when the 24 frames per second became the standard in animation? He said some of the software has a 12 as the default option.
Well, 12 is a default because you can get away with doing one drawing for every 2 frames, so that's 2s. But it's been 24 frames ever, because that's what the film rate is going through a camera. You know, so when movie cameras were invented, that's when the frame rate was invented.
Like back with Chaplin and all that?
Yeah. Yeah. Now the reason why you see them moving around fast and all that is because they were doing it by hand.
Okay.
And so they couldn't quite get the right.
As a steady, it wasn't steady.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm going to take this section. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I'm going to take this section right here. Just like that. And I'm going to go to filter. Oops. Oops, I forgot to do something. Z, there we go. Layer, merge group. Okay, so now, real quick. Oh man, I love the lighting effect on that leaf. Well, there's really no lighting effect. I just painted a green leaf over darkness. It's amazing how the values can really fool the eye. That's a cool example of that. So now what I want to do is I want to go into filter and I want to go into my blur, radial blur, and I want the center is right down about here. Now let's not try it at 10. Let's see what it looks like. That looks pretty good. What do you think of that? And select, deselect.
The wings, so they're blurred because they're moving, right? Is that
Yeah.
the thought process?
Yep. Let me do this. I'm going to copy that again and turn this on and layer merge group again. So now I can go to this one and erase here.
So you're erasing some of the blur.
Yeah, just
Is
a
that what you're
little bit
doing?
of it,
Okay.
yeah. There we go. So we got a nice little blur there.
Definitely gives it more movement.
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of some of this. There we go. So that feels pretty good. I like that. Alright, so let me... It's feeling pretty good so far. Alright, so I'm going to rotate it back. Thomas Edison believed that the optimal frame rate was 46 frames per second. Anything lower than that resulted in discomfort and eventual exhaustion in the audience. So Edison built a camera and film projection system that operated at a high frame rate. But with the slowness of film stocks and the high cost of film, this was a non-starter. Economics dictated shooting closer to the threshold of the illusion, and most silent films were filmed around 16 to 18 frames. Sorry.
Per second.
Per second. Then projected closer to 20 to 24 frames. This is why motion picture and those silent films are so comical, because the film is sped up. Oh, there you go. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Nick.
Nick did the thing.
Nick did the thing. Nick Birch. All right, so now I'm going to combine these. And
We're at 2 hours. You're 2 hours in. It's looking great.
Well, I'm almost there. So now I'm going to add some fireflies. Well, first of all, I'm going to push the saturation. I want to go nice and blue with that and get those worms nice and warm. There we go. That feels nice. There we go. And then I'm going to do a new layer on top, and I want to get some of that. I want to get some of those fireflies in there. So I'm going to go with this guy. Turn that on. I'll turn that off. And come up here to my airbrush. There we go. Just give them a little glow. See there? A little glow.
Nice.
There. And so here, yeah, I like that. Let's do one in the foreground. Definitely should have one in the foreground. So let's get this guy back here. Get that back.
Oh, that look! I love the fireflies.
Yeah, put a couple there.
Wow, makes it so magical.
Yeah. Oops. Come back here. Get this guy. There, or in the foreground. So that feels better. Should we do so? Let me try putting some stars up in the sky. Just a couple. Or maybe clouds, I'm not sure which. I'm just gonna go with stars. I'm gonna do that a cooler light.
Holly Rundle, and I think you met her at the Chester Zoo or
Chester
something?
Zoo, yeah.
Yeah. She's saying thank you so much for your voicemail about which Wacom to buy. She did end up buying the 24 Pro.
Oh, good.
With a free stand and free year of Photoshop.
That's awesome.
And the 27 QHD was discontinued.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
The 24, is that the one I
That's
was
what
working?
No, you're on the 27.
No, but I was working on the 24, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And that was a great one because the stand, you could flip
Yeah.
the screen, you can twist it. It's so fun.
Jonathan says, save. Okay. Save. Nick asks, how happy do you think barn owls were when the barn was finally invented? Nick, you're an idiot. I love it.
It used to be called the screech owl.
They did over there. I mean, we
That's
actually
what they said.
we actually have a screech owl here. We have an owl.
Oh,
that's
okay.
called-
They said it was. They used to call it something else. I
Yeah,
think,
before there were barns.
There were barn owls.
Yeah, not too much. throwing a little too much in there. Doesn't have to be too much. I think I'm going to try one more thing. Okay. Okay, so there's that. And now I'm going to try. I just want to try one thing here. Get it a little bit hot. Hot. Got that. I'm going to go down to 8%, 6%. I'm going to go to color dodge and knock this up a little higher. Just get some of this light coming out of here a little hotter. That's too much. Well, let me turn that off. Trash that. Repeat that one there. Just heat it up. Just a touch. There we go. I'm going to grab my smudge tool. I just want to lose some of these edges just a little bit in here. I'm actually using one of my grass tools, my grass brushes. There. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. YouTube, can you add some rays of light piercing through the atmosphere from the barn? I will try it. I'm not holding out hope. I think that might be a little much, but you asked, so I will try. It could be kind of cool, actually. If there's some atmosphere, I haven't really established like a foggy night because we're seeing stars and everything, so it's rather clear. But it could be kind of cool.
A couple of people suggested clouds. If it was England, they said you have to have clouds in England.
Yeah.
But
I flattened everything.
yeah.
So that's why I put the stars in there.
I like the way it's looking.
This is Florida.
Yeah.
All right, so let me try some of these beams of light you speak of. Actually, the light's going to be behind those plants too. I don't think it's going to work that well, but let's try it. It's going to have to be really faint. Now I'm just going to do it rough first. Then what I got to do is erase along that edge where that light's coming out of, and then I want to.
That's kind of cool.
Knock the opacity back. I think it's going to be too much. Filter. Just try Gaussian blur. There's a little bit of light coming out of there like that. And let me do this. So it feels like the plants are actually in front of the blur or of the beam of light. because they would be. Actually, now that I'm seeing it like this, kind of like it. See, the plants have to be in front of that light beam in order for it to read correctly.
So you're just erasing the blur off of it.
I'm erasing the blur off the plants, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that does look good.
Well, I stand corrected. That was a great suggestion. I like it. It actually gave more depth over to the right side. Thank you very much, whoever suggested that. That was great.
Hey, Aaron, this dark background would also be great for bats.
It would be. It would be.
We see bats all the time here. I love them.
Oh, Nick says it's a different 24. The new 24 is the smaller versions of the 32 that I have. Yes, I remember that now. My Twitch question. My son Ethan often watches your stream with me. It was his 16th birthday this past Saturday. Could you wish him a happy birthday on the air? Ethan, first of all, thank you so much for watching, and happy 16th birthday. That makes me happy.
Happy birthday,
Yes.
Ethan.
Awesome. And let me do one more thing here. I want to just smooth out some of this lighting on the leaves. That's better. All right, I think we've got to finish. Save. What you think, Mama?
I love it. It looks so beautiful. I love the fireflies. And the light coming through the crack, which I wasn't sure about, I really like.
I love that. Whoever suggested that was awesome. That was a great idea. Now, the only thing now left to do is boom. There it is, folks. Our barn owl. And once again, I want to show you the reference. Here's the reference. Let me bring this down. Don't let your reference dictate the kind of image you create. There's our reference for the owl, and then there's our painting for the owl. Two completely different things, but I just let my inspiration go as far as the kind of painting I wanted to do, and used the photograph that Vedanta took as my inspiration for the bird. So, excuse me, I'm burping up sandwiches.
Me too.
But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. The light was suggested by Dark Stars Winning. So thank you very much, Dark Stars Winning. It was an awesome suggestion on that lighting. It worked out really well. So thank you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. And once again, remember, we've got our big masterclass coming up August 3rd and 4th here in Orlando. I'm going to be teaching live. I would love to see you guys. We've just got a few seats left, so if you're going to do it, get in there and get those tickets. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be me for 2 days, Saturday, Sunday. Lunch will be provided, and we're going to be talking about animation. We're going to be talking about character design. I'm going to be doing demos, digital painting demos. We're going to talk about story and how to get movies off the ground. All kinds of stuff that's going to be a lot of fun. So I would really love to see you, and let's fill that theater up. It'll be a lot of fun, and I'll get to meet you in person, which would be really cool. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today. I really enjoyed it. It's so much fun to go on these trips and collect reference material and then bring it back and kind of digest it and create artwork like this. This is, for me, this is the whole point of doing this trips, along with, obviously, when we went to Peckforton Castle, meeting a whole bunch of wonderful, amazing people, great artists. And I'm really glad you guys tuned in, that were there. I miss you guys already, and I can't wait to see you again. And like I always say, go out there, take what you've learned, and try to put some beauty back in the world, and be nice to somebody. And we will talk to you, I guess, on Thursday. We'll be back again now that Vedanta's a veteran at this. So We'll be back again on Thursday, and who knows what we'll do. But go out there, be nice to people, put some beauty back into the world. And with that, Vedanta,
We'll see you later. Bye. Never give up. Never surrender.